Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Caleb Davis Show. With me as always, my main man J-Mo.
What's up?
And as you can probably come to expect by now, at least every other week, our main man Davey Rode.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Welcome back.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I really don't feel like I should welcome you anymore. It's
No, I'm kind of a regular.
just kind of
I'm
a
regular
part of
cast
this.
member.
That's
You
right.
are.
Yeah.
All right. I have to put you on payroll.
Please.
G.
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah. Oddly enough,
Jeez.
sure.
Okay. Yeah. Take it.
Freaking.
The last time you were on, we did a Van Halen.
We did. Yeah. Since then, we've.
And we had to air the Van Halen early, which was that was crazy.
It's a bummer. I mean, the video is not a bummer, but it's yeah, that happened.
Your all-time favorite guitarist.
All-time favorite guitar player.
It's sad.
It's sad. It is.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and pioneer that was lost, and maybe one of the last true
Yeah.
trailblazers.
Absolutely.
You
Hard
know?
to go up from there.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. It's kind of
Mercy.
Yeah.
Jay, what do we got on the table for today, man?
Today we are gonna rate. We're gonna do a ranking, a rating, a railification of Led Zeppelin albums. So there's 9, and we're gonna put them in order as to our preferential. It's 9, right?
Yeah, there's 9. I'm just
There's
counting.
9.
I was like,
That's good. I think 9. I think I thought there was 10, but there's only 9. So we're gonna go in reverse order, 9 through 1. So we're just gonna go around the horn. We're gonna pretty quickly move through 9 through 4. I think we decided, and then we'll give some more substantial comments on our top 3.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I like
good.
that.
That's pretty much it. This will be fun. This is the first time we've ranked a band with a huge catalog. Like, you could do something like this with, I don't know, the Beatles or Stones or Floyd.
Yeah,
But this will
Which
be
we will.
fun. We will do those
Yeah.
things. This is the first go at it though.
and let me just say, this is not as easy as it sounds.
No. This is hard. I think this list changes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
From week to week, it could change.
It could be a steady rotation of any of the. Well, I'll tell you this: any of the first 7 could be number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Depending on the day.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
All right. So, but with that said, let's just dive on in. What do you say, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to? This is weird. You being on this side.
I know. I like it.
You want to switch?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
All right.
This is good.
I'm a stage left kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's your good side.
Yes.
That's right. I like it over here.
Yeah. And by the way, depending on when we air this, you know what? I may just go ahead and skip ahead and air this one this coming week. We're usually back about 3 or 4 weeks. But if you'll notice, I don't have the old Caleb Davis music noggin on today.
That's true.
Because our Bravos
Braves.
are up in the NLCS for the first time since I was 16 years old.
That's right.
So, and I haven't watched one game this whole season.
It's great.
It's not even a
COVID.
season, but whatever. We don't even count it.
Hashtag
Even
COVID.
unless they win.
Unless they win the World Series, then we count.
then we'll count it.
Yeah,
It'll be the
absolutely.
happiest day of our life.
Oh,
We'll run
yeah.
around without our shirt on for a week.
A week and a half.
Okay, Jay, let's
Yes.
get going. Why don't you take your number 9 through number 6?
Number 9 through 6.
Or no, number 9 through 4.
9 through 4. All
Yeah.
right. So my 9 through 4 is this. Into the Outdoor.
Okay.
Last. It's the bottom of the barrel. Coda is after that.
Okay.
I think we just call a spade a spade, right?
Can we just wait a minute? Can we get that out of the way?
Is everybody's that way?
Well, no.
Okay, never mind.
All right,
Keep going.
yeah.
Keep going.
So here's the big one that I couldn't get around. This is just it. My number 7 is Zeppelin 2. Which is, I know, like, when I was making the list, but I thought, like, that's really where it landed. So my number 7 is Zeppelin 2. My number 6 is Presence. Number 5 is Song Remains the Same. And number 4,
No, that's not one.
or House of the Holy.
House of the Holy.
And number 4
It's
is...
a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
yeah, that's right.
It probably fits right there.
Number 4 is number 4.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
That's how mine worked out.
That's good. So number 4 was number 4 for you.
So this could be a cool way to do it. Any questions or comments about that list?
Well, Presence is low from what I thought it would be for you.
Yeah.
I
It
thought
is.
Presence would be a little higher for you.
I know.
Slightly disappointing.
But
I
like
don't
you
know.
said, though, it is really kind of like...
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. It was... Yeah. Presence in number 4.
Yeah.
I don't know why Houses of the Holy was hard and fast in the 5 spot. And I couldn't figure out which one I wanted in the 4 spot. Presence or number 4.
I think House is the Holy being in the 5 spot is a shocker too for me. For you.
Oh,
for you.
yeah.
I just I think about what I think Jay would listen to, and that's
Yeah.
all. Man. What about you?
Well, I'm pretty similar to him, actually. I'm going with Coda. In Through the Outdoor. So we're probably all going
Yeah.
to be similar in that vein.
Interesting that you switched those though.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a toss-up.
Okay.
But you're right. 1 through 7 is I mean, really, you can interchange, right? Any of those. So
Yeah.
this week I have Presence at 7, and I love that album. I've got 3 next. Houses at number 5, and then I have 4 at 4.
Both
So
of you
we're
had
pretty
4 at
similar
4.
there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That is similar.
I'll tell you this. I think probably a lot of people watching will balk at the fact that I'll say it after. Well, maybe I say it now, but we're all gonna have 4 not in our top 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think most people will be like, "What's wrong with you fellas? You are musicians, right? You do like music, and 4 is not in your top 3.
It's not their top 3 best album.
It's just not.
Public.
It's just not.
There's a reason they call that number 4.
That's right.
If it were their best, it would have come out first.
That's right.
Except that first is not there. Never mind. We're not
Yeah,
going to
that's
that. Okay, so check this out. My number last, whatever that is, 9, is In Through the Outdoor because, frankly, I think that's an embarrassing album.
It's really bad.
It's heroin.
It's just,
I think that's what the problem was.
it's just. I'll tell you this. I put the posthumous release of Coda, which isn't really even an album. It was released as an album, but some of the tracks are from the 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a compilation of just, honest to goodness, it's whatever we had left
That's
over.
why I couldn't count it, because at least there was no effort put involved in Coda.
No, there wasn't, but I
But
feel
there
like
was
the
effort.
lack of effort was better than In Through the Outdoor.
I'll give you that. All right.
I mean,
all right.
and here's the cool thing, then the little Led Zeppelin trivia here. I read an article one time from John Paul Jones. You guys may know this. They were asking him, they were like, because you know how you always hear these stories when Prince passed away, you heard like Prince say, oh, he could release another record every 6 months for the next 200 years with all the backlog stuff he has. And it's like, if that stuff was good enough, why didn't he put it out? Like, why, and now Zappa is the same way. There's enough material in Zappa's catalog to go 10 miles down the road and back in tape. A lot of bands are like that. In fact, Pink Floyd's final release, Endless River, was a compilation of things that didn't make it onto the Division Bell record. And one thing that I thought was really cool, they asked JPJ, they said, hey, any chance that you guys have any other material floating around out there and we could expect like maybe a 40-year reunion, or a 30-year of the band breaking up reunion kind of thing, like a record? And his response was, Led Zeppelin wrote songs and then we recorded them. He said there was nothing left over. He said nothing left over at all. Like, that was it. We didn't have...
They wrote 4 albums. They didn't just write to write.
Right. He said we didn't... So a lot of bands, like you hear about Metallica with Load and Reload, they got like 30-something songs together and then said, all right, let's kick that one out. Let's kick that one out. We'll put this one on Load, this one on Reload. Zeppelin said, oh, we have enough for 2 sides of a record. That's an album.
Yeah.
And if we don't, we'll just jam it a little bit longer.
And they would go to a house and like chill out there.
Yeah.
And it kind of dictated how the album sounded too.
Yeah.
So that I think that had a lot to do with it too.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. There's nothing left over in the Zepp catalog. They at least according to John Paul Jones.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, In Through the Outdoor and then Coda for me. Number 7 was 2.
Oh.
So, isn't that odd? Do we all have number 2 as the third one?
Wow. No, he had 3. Or no, Presence as
Presence
the third
was
one.
my number 7.
Oh, you and I were right on the same.
Oh, wow. That is interesting. Oh, that's weird.
I know. We're on that level.
I'm just going to be honest. I burned that album out. I don't like it anymore. Like, it was just too much.
I still can't say that.
I mean, it's just like, oh, man.
If I said to you tomorrow. Okay, so.
It's just like...
That's the way it's said. I've heard it, right?
Yeah.
So my number, whatever's after that, is 4.
Okay.
So I had 4 really low
Really
on my
low.
list.
Yeah.
After that was 1.
On number 5?
Yeah.
There's 1? Okay.
Number 5 for me is the first album. And number 4 for me is Presence.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Can't disagree with
So now we're in our top 3.
Yeah.
Let's flesh it out a little bit. What do we got? Number 3 for you.
So would you go one at a time?
Let's go one at a time.
All right, number 3 for me is number 3. Zeppelin 3 is in my number 3 spot. Zeppelin 3 could almost be in my number 1 spot, like that.
That's so
can't,
freaking true.
I just can't justify it with some of the songs on these other albums that I'm going to talk about. But Zeppelin 3 has got, it's got so many cool acoustic tunes that just kind of, you don't think about them, and then you listen to the album as a whole, and you're like, man, that's all. Tangerine.
Yeah.
Tangerine is such a good album. Since I've Been Loving You, and we'll all talk about it, but Since I've Been Loving You is one of the epic blues rock anthems of history. I mean, the way that all of them, though, Jimmy Page is playing, Robert Plant's singing, John Paul Jones playing. The only person who really doesn't like stand out in a cool way, maybe necessarily, is Bonzo, but
yeah, but his squeaky.
But he gets the squeaky pedal.
Gets the squeaky pedal.
Yeah, I mean,
once you hear it, you can't.
He locks it down, but John Paul Jones on that.
Yeah,
man.
John Paul Jones on the organ. Yeah. All right, so oddly enough, my number 3 is number 3.
Oh,
Jay, you and I are right there, man.
That's cool.
I'm not gonna add a ton to what you said, except for I will harp just a second on Since I've Been Loving You, just a little bit longer. And all I'm going to say is I think that if you had to pick one song that defined a band, this is that one song. If you had to say, hey man, I've never heard Led Zeppelin before, and I said, oh cool, I'll tell you what, if you want to know what Led Zeppelin is, go listen to Since I've Been Loving You, and you'll have Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Because that's the best Robert Plant had to offer. That's the best Jimmy Page had to offer. That's the best JPJ had. And it's really, it kind of is indicative of the way Bonzo played the drums.
Yeah,
it really is. It's not flashy, but he wasn't always flashy. I mean, it was just like that. It felt like Bonzo. I mean, it wasn't
big.
It was like.
It's like 2 kicks.
Yeah, it was like exactly. So, I mean, you start the record out.
Immigrant, man.
You start the record out with Immigrant Song. And then it just, from there, you do have your Since I've Been Loving You, but then it just kind of goes, left field. Celebration Day is so good.
Yeah,
that album is so good. Davey Road, number 3 for me, man. Go ahead.
All right, number 3 for me is 1.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, we've heard so many, we talked about Led Zeppelin 2. We've heard so many of those songs on the radio. Well, we've heard a lot of them on the radio. But, 1 and 2 and 4, I mean, well, all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1 is just, I think about Led Zeppelin 1 and probably the impact it had on, when it came out, 69?
Yep.
When it came out. Well,
First
I think
two
1 and
came
2 were
out
out 69, yeah. When it just came out and how,
First record, first song.
Man.
I mean, what I try to do is I listen through these when Caleb and Justin mentioned doing this, put them in and listen to every album, and I tried to think, okay, how do I listen to this, like pretend like I've never heard it before, which is difficult, but the impact it has, having not listened to them in a while, I think 1 was up there. So number 3 for me.
And as 3 Telecaster guys,
there you go.
That whole album is Telecaster.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, number 2.
Number 2 for me is number 1. So number 1, Good Times, Bad Times. I'm just, I think that way about what you're saying about Since I've Been Loving You. I feel like that's just Zeppelin.
Yep.
There's so much, even the guitar break, like that's just this sloppy. kind of fast, kind of, Jimmy Page sound, and I mean the double bass stuff. I mean, it's just got a lot of feature elements in it.
Yep.
But the whole thing, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, is so heavy. It's just such a heavy song, man.
Yeah.
And it's just an awesome tune. But the other one that I've got to say is Your Time Is Gonna Come.
Yeah, dude. What a groove.
Your Time Is Gonna Come is like, honestly, I'll be honest with you, that's my favorite song on Zeppelin 1. Is Your Time Is Gonna Come. I mean, it's just so good, man. And but that album, I think, is one of the best debut albums ever. I think that you can't underestimate how much Zeppelin 1 influenced rock and roll to come. I mean, that you can see clearly that's why people attribute them to metal. I mean, there's just so much heavy stuff. You think about, I mean, that's like punk, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so much cool stuff on that album.
Yep.
A lot of energy.
This was heavy metal.
Oh man, it was great. So,
There's a pre-Rage Against the Machine riff in How Many More Times?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
I could hear Rage Against the Machine playing
rocking that. So there's just a lot of influential marks. There's a lot of impressionable things that music has taken on as a result of that album. Had an influence on me.
Oddly enough, half of that album's a cover, right?
Yeah,
half
like
of
every album back then.
half of that album's a cover, though. That's what's crazy.
Like
Like
the blue stuff.
How Many More Times is a cover. Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Lemon Song's on there.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of covers they did, actually.
Oh yeah.
All right, my number 3 and
Number 2.
my number 2. I would have said this would be difficult, but the truth is, it just wasn't difficult because of what number 1 had to be. My number 2 is Houses of the Holy. I love Houses of the Holy as a complete work. I would say of all of their my number 1 albums, that's the most complete album of theirs, just from start to finish.
Yeah.
Song remains the same all the way through the ocean. With the rain song thrown in the middle, and even getting some kind of weird offbeat, funky, the crunge in there, which still works. And you have hits
Over
on there.
the Hills.
Radio play like Over the Hills, Dancing Days.
Dancing Days.
It's a phenomenal.
It is, man.
And
Dancing
then
Days.
to me, the album highlight is No Quarter. And
Sick riff.
hey, you guys. Y'all carry on. One of my neighbors has the animal out here. Let me go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave. I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for number 2 for me, physical. Physical graffiti is it's there's so much there. To me it's their most mature album, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like it's their most complete, their most I guess you could say adventurous, maybe a good way to put it. But physical could be number 1.
Yeah.
But just like all of these, you could put them with House of the Holy. I think I had it. Where did I have that? I had it 5th.
Yeah.
And, House of the Holy could be number 1 for me sometimes.
Really?
Too. So, it's just difficult. So
What did I miss?
physical graffiti is number 2.
And I think so. I'll recap a bit of what I think that was tremendous that Dave said.
It's okay. I'll watch it later.
Their most mature album, I think, is a great way to put that.
Complete. Yeah. It's just a complete. You listen to that from start to finish. I mean, and it's there's a lot of music on there. It sounds like every song is kind of an epic song in itself.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, so you and I are the same here because we've only got one album that hasn't been mentioned. So number 1.
Physical graffiti.
Physical graffiti.
So we're all pretty close there.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Physical graffiti. Let's just tackle it together. There's no point in us doing it. Go ahead. There's nothing better.
Custard Pie. It's so good. It's such a good song. This album is so good. But this, like, you can
In the Light.
In the Light's when we did our riff album, that's my number 1 riff of all time.
Killer riff.
Yeah.
The 1G that just rings. Hey, let me tell you this. Funny story. Jay and I went to high school together. And I very specifically remember you and I going on a field trip or something. It might have been a chorus trip or something where we were in a bus with all these other people in high school. And I remember us, I don't know how it was working. We might have been sharing a head. I don't know how we did it, but we had the Physical Graffiti on CD. And you and I, we would have on Down by the Seaside on repeat. And we were just listening to Down by the Seaside all the way to wherever we were going and back.
So far away. And they get into that groove.
When they cut into that, it is just... It's Down by the Seaside, the best part, the part that always slayed me was... You still do the twist, you find you remember things that well. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's awful hard to tell.
And then they go back into the groove of the song.
It's like, come on. when they do that, that's so good.
To me, it's genius level.
Yeah, dude.
Stuff.
10 Years Gone that comes right after that is genius level songwriting.
In My
There's-
Time of Dying.
In My Time of Dying. The whole thing, Trampled Underfoot.
Trample Underfoot.
Is so I'll tell you this about Trampled Underfoot. I've got a memory about Trampled Underfoot. One of my first jobs ever was I was halfway cook and halfway waiter at Alfred and Charlie's Barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were listening to 95.7 Dropping Hush Puppies in the Fire. Me and this guy named Pete.
Ride.
Yeah, Pete saw Zeppelin, and I was like, Pete told me he saw Zeppelin. First of all, I'm not questioning working with this strange man named Pete dropping Hush Puppies. But I'm like, Pete, man, you saw Zeppelin? What was it like? And as he's telling me about this concert, Trampled Underfoot comes on the ride. Oh. It's just this awesome groove of a song. But I always associate that because we stopped everything we were doing and just rocked out to Trampled Underfoot in the middle of this barbecue kitchen. Absolutely. It was great, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so funky.
It is funky.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
then you got Cashmere.
Oh.
And it's like, I don't know what to say about Cashmere that hadn't been said by 100 million people. Cashmere's amazing. It's epic.
When
it's
Puff Daddy uses your junk, you know
And
what
it
I'm
just
saying?
goes on. I mean, it's one of these songs that just stays right there.
Oh, man.
For what, 7, 8 minutes? It's just like,
The best part of that song is he goes, I feel. Bonzo says, pop, 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 pop. Oh, that
man,
part is so
Yeah.
killer. Mercy.
them playing that
album.
at Nebworth is pretty good. Their last, was it their last show or I think it was their last performance?
This was their last performance, Celebration Day.
Well, I mean, with the full band.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
actually pretty good.
Yeah, then where Jimmy Page is wearing those.
He's wearing white trousers and
They're like up to here.
His blue shirt.
Yeah.
And he's all sweating, hair went out.
Yeah.
That's. And Robert Plant's looking all like sexified and stuff.
And oddly enough,
Doing it to it.
and I don't think it's a factor for me, but Physical Graffiti is a double album.
Yeah.
It's odd that would be our top.
So much material. I do think Dave's right. It is the most mature album. It's the most musically ambitious thing they did, and they killed it.
They
you
knocked it
take
apart.
my number 1 and 2. 1 was Physical Graffiti. 2 was Zeppelin 1.
Polar
Opposites.
Yep.
1 is raw dog simple. This is us and we're kids. We're rocking out. This is what
Like
we
one
do.
take.
Yeah, and Physical Graffiti is this developed big
Piece
idea.
of artwork.
Oh man, Physical Graffiti. I will say this: whenever time we do this, Physical Graffiti would very easily be in my top 5 albums ever.
Yeah, when did Graffiti come out? 77?
5.
No.
5.
75, right?
Yep.
Because 1 and 2 were 69.
So in 6 years, that's where they.
1975.
Yeah, so that's
Physical Graffiti.
6 years. That's where they ended up.
And it's intense, man.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
All right. What's the number
Oh,
1 or 1, David Road?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, again, Naked Flip Flop. I mean, I was really going back and forth like Physical Graffiti, but I kind of went with I like 2 because there's not a bad song on there.
Yeah.
I mean, a whole lot of love. What is and what should never be. The Lemon Song. Thank you. Heartbreaker. Living Loving Maid. Ramble On. Moby Dick. Bring It On. I mean, it's like load and reload. You can probably kind of say that.
Yeah.
But I like 2 a little better, so I'm going with it. Number 2 for my number 1.
There you
Ramble
go.
On's the best song on there, I think.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like this album, number 2, here in our area we have a station called 99.7 The Fox.
Mhm.
That is 99.7
Yeah,
The Fox.
Absolutely.
and
They play the whole record on repeat all the time. It's like, get the lead out, here comes Heartbreaker.
yeah. So disclaimer: I haven't listened to 99.7 in probably about 15 years. So I've kind of gotten off of listening to this, number 2 all the time. So when you haven't heard it in a while and then you pop it in, you're like,
Oh, it's tremendous.
oh, I forgot how good it is. The bass lines on the Lemon Song and stuff.
Man,
John Paul Jones going
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Let's just say this: JPJ has got to be the most overlooked musician in rock
absolutely,
music.
yes.
That
Yeah.
dude is an animal.
He really is
Absolutely.
the musician of Zeppelin.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, Jimmy Page was the arranger, producer,
Studio Wizard.
John Paul Jones. I mean, John Bonham, obviously just the big, massive drums.
Yeah.
And that's not to crack on him because he's my favorite drummer. But John Paul Jones, I mean, he could play, he could play keys, he could play bass. He could play, string, a mandolin.
You know
this
good and well,
kind
the
of thing.
dude play guitar, could probably sing.
Oh,
And he
probably
still
could.
looks great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he does look great.
Yeah,
For it. Yeah, absolutely. He does.
He's doing real well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Thank
done
you,
well
Jeff.
for himself.
Doing well.
Yeah.
He still kicks it around with like the young bucks.
Yeah, he hangs
Oh,
out with
yeah,
Dave Grohl and all
absolutely.
those goons. So.
Absolutely.
He's looking great these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
He stays
looking,
fit.
Looking very elevated.
Nice and trim.
Yeah.
Great trim.
Yeah, I
That's
like
good.
He's
that.
got a good diet. He likes kale. He does
Yeah, I
some
wish he was
run.
my
It's
dad.
good. He is my dad.
Yeah.
That's not.
He's old enough.
Father
to
John.
Yeah, he's old enough to be
JPJ.
our old.
A John Paul.
JP.
Yeah, I think overall, and I'll say this: I think Zeppelin was a great live band. I think they're overrated as a live band a
Yeah.
little bit. I
Yeah.
think they're an incredible studio band, and I think that their discography, with the exception of the last two, and let's be frank, it was a steep drop off. I think the last two are. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Only because I just went and said how amazing these are. The last two are pathetic.
Yeah, you could have
Bad
ended at
albums.
Presence and just like
They're pathetic.
Yeah.
Presence
Like-
is awesome, and then Into the Outcoda, whichever one's next.
Into the outdoor.
It's just like to go from Presence to that.
We should just ranked 1 through 7, but that's we got to do.
You
the
got to
whole
be
catalog.
honest. You got to be
honest.
true.
You got to be true, which
You
is
know?
why I'll tell you this: those last two are a stain on the entire the legacy of Led Zeppelin.
Bad albums.
Yeah,
Poor.
it's a
poor
wet
albums.
page in their
Bad
catalog.
work.
It is. It is.
Bad job.
But you know what? They
Bad
also had.
Killer albums.
They
Have you opened
also
that one?
had this.
Incredible.
And
You know
it's
it's got a
like,
sleeve and stuff, right?
oh yeah,
Incredible.
oh yeah, you can take it out. It's super fancy.
Oh, it is a fancified one. It's
Yeah.
got a little
This
door.
is
It's like
an
an
ori-
advent
this is an
calendar.
original.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this helps to erase it. But when you're looking at the total mark of a band, and you have to consider the last two records, and Led Zeppelin it has a stain on their record there. And I will say, oddly enough, we did the top 5 drummers. Is it not odd that none of us put Bonham anywhere on our
Oh, I
top
know.
5?
Well, you said he was your number one, but you weren't on that episode. But
Well, I'm not an expert on drums, but
on me either. But yeah, no, it's just
So check this out, folks. Leave us some comments below. Do you
Please.
agree with Justin's, mine, Dave's, none of ours? Are we insane? Well, there's a possibility that
I'm
we
sure
are.
there's some 4 fans out there that are going to give us a hard time.
Yeah.
come correct though. Don't just drop some Stairway to Heaven stuff.
Yeah,
Come correct.
that's right. That's right. If you're gonna be highball stepping, you need to make sure that we leave Stairway back, because we all know that Stairway was plagiarized. Okay, so the lyrics were not, and that's the best part of Stairway, are the
Oh,
lyrics.
yeah.
I mean, I really think so. But
You got them on.
I
Can't
got-
see from your camera here, but
got them on the wall there. That's right.
Yeah.
Why not sing about the occult a little bit?
Never hurt anybody, right?
Right. Only eternally. Okay, so
right.
hey, thanks for hanging with us, Davy Road.
Yes,
this
glad
was
to
a
be
lot
here.
of fun.
Thanks, guys.
We're gonna
For
do
sure.
this again with another amazing band. Let us know who you think we should categorize from 0 to 1 in their entire discography. We'll do this
Yeah,
again.
that'd be great.
I enjoyed this a lot.
This was good.
This was better than. This is nice taking a break from the top 5 a little.
This is a good time.
Yeah. All right, folks. J-Mo,
See ya.
peace out, guys. We'll see you soon.
Adios.